Well, hello and welcome to Ticket to Life. This is Henry, and thank you for tuning in. I hope that you are having a great evening, a great day, wherever you are. Now, we're going to be talking about adulting and being an adult. I'm not sure how many people enjoy being an adult. I think I do, but I actually have a pillow on my bed that goes on my bed. Yes, I make my bed up every day, or my husband does. Whoever's in the bed last, that's the rule, has to make the bed up. And it says, never grow up. That's my thing, never grow up. But I'll get to that in a minute. A very important thing is happening this coming Sunday. And I don't even think I mentioned it last week because I like to prepare you for the month. And it is Mother's Day. Mother's Day is this Sunday. Here is your hint. Be sure to go buy a card, buy something. At this, if you are an adult, let's say late 20s, early 30s, that means your parents are more than likely in their 50s, unless, of course, they had you very young. Well, they could be a lot younger. But anyway, parents don't really need a lot. I remember my mom, when Mother's Day came around, she was so hard to buy for. And she was in her 50s. She passed away at 59, but she was very hard to buy for. And, you could buy gift cards, but they didn't have a lot of gift cards 30 years ago. Actually, 35 years ago. I can't believe she's going to be gone that long because I miss her so much. But anyway, Mother's Day is a celebration where we honor our mothers, the family who keeps the family going, the glue that bonds everyone together. She fixes the boo-boos and she listens to us whine and complain, and she's there just to hug us, to comfort us. Now, if you don't have that type of mother, I'm so sorry, because believe it or not, are very many people who do not like their mothers. And that's a shame. And you could blame it on the kids or you could blame it on mom. But I hope that eventually they are able to make amends, because moms are amazing. Like I said, there are lots of people that dread Mother's Day. Oh, that means I need to go see her, which is horrible. Oh, I hope my kids aren't saying that when they come to see me. But of course, I'm flexible. If they visit the in-laws, that's fine. I get to see my kids weekly. So, well, until my daughter moves. But anyway, try to remember your mom. Remember the wonderful things. Sit down. And if you're not in the same state, city, then give her a call. Just make sure you give her a call. If she doesn't pick up, make sure to leave her a loving message and thank her for all she has done for you. Because believe it or not, moms and your mom has done something special for you. If she made sure you had clean clothes, food on the table, now those are blessings. But then made you leave at the age of 18 and said you're on your own. She got you through 18 years, so it's your responsibility to do the rest for your life. And remember the wonderful things that she did for you, and do it for your own family. And then double it. I mean, we can always improve family relationships. But that's up to us. But anyway, try to remember your mom, because like I said, they are amazing. At least I hope most of the moms are amazing. Of course, then you hear about these horrible women who just, never mind, I don't want to ruin Mother's Day for anyone, but they've just done something horrible to their children. But God will take care of them, because that's what he does. And I don't know, that sounded pretty wicked, and God is not wicked. But sorry about that, God. But just do something special for them. And I really hope and pray that if you have not spoken to your mom, that you bite the bullet and give her a call, because it will mean a lot to her knowing that you picked up that phone and gave her a call. So this podcast is very interesting. It's honestly because I read an article in a magazine. I like to read. I read all sorts of stuff, and one of the articles was talking about growing up. And I have been meaning to do something on growing up, because I think growing up is hard. As young kids, we can't wait. Oh, we can't wait to be a teenager. Then we can't wait to be in college. And then we can't wait to be in our own apartment. And then the day comes. The day comes when they do move out and they are on their own. And guess what? It's not so easy. There aren't any more warm meals on the table or no one to cry to because you've had a bad day, but you can pick up the phone. It was very important for me to talk to my mom, and I did speak to her just about, well, no, I did. I spoke to my mom every day. She would call me before work, or I would call her. We just would always talk each and every day, and just to chat about some whatever. You just have things to talk to like you do your best friend. I feel as though our relationship got better as I became an adult. And again, I miss her very, very much. She was just this really special lady. She loved us and worked very hard to take good care of us. But anyway, growing up is hard to do. And nowadays, they're saying that kids are growing up slower, where in their minds, they can't wait to be out of the house. But mentally, they're not prepared for what's out there. Face it, we have spoiled our kids with everything we can give them and technology. I was at a marriage retreat last year and for police officers, and I don't know, I didn't know the lady. There were quite a few people in there, and police officers can, like anyone else, get an extra job, like a part-time job. And the mom said, she said, "Well, my kids complain because he's never home, but." I told them, yeah, but you have everything you want, don't you? You have the clothes, you have the cell phones, you have the car. I bit my lip. It was so hard for me not to say, but those aren't all the things that kids need. They need mom or dad home. They need them to have that connection other than, love you, got to work tonight, I won't be home. They need that connection. And so, again, I feel like the ability of kids growing up, I can see why it is taking a little bit longer for kids to mature. I mean, life used to be so easy. I mean, and of course, back in the 70s, everybody was about peace, love, and rock and roll. And, love, peace, and rock and roll. Yeah, something like that I always used to say. But anyway, back and let's think many, 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 many years ago. I mean, we didn't even have seat belts in the car. And even though we had them, and I think it was in the 80s when all the cars had to start having them. Let's see. I think it was in the 80s, I believe, when the back seat and the front seat had to have them put in cars. But think about it. People still didn't wear them. But the safety of that child was the arm that goes across their chest to hold them back. Now, till this day, my kids, the car did not start unless everyone was belted in. That was my thing. Sorry, kids. Can't go anywhere till the belt's on in the back. And they'd belt up. Then you have the kids who just throw a fit and the parents give in and drive off. Okay, again, this is the mom or the dad's saying, I love you, put your seatbelt on. Now, that doesn't guarantee that they could get injured, but it can provide them from not being injured really, really bad. I know some cars explode and all that stuff happens, but I mean, you don't have kids or people going through windshields. And where I'm going with this is it's just the safety and how things have changed so much. These are the things that people need to realize. And no, I'm not a therapist or a doctor of any kind. These are just my opinions. And I know I'm always saying this in random podcasts because I need people to know that these are my thoughts, that I don't think that people realize that we are providing not just a simple seatbelt or an arm across their chest to save them. Now we're giving them everything. Does that make sense to you? I hope it does, because that was a safety, I love you issue. But now it's like, let's get in the car. I remember my husband being on when he was in traffic, when he was an officer, and he stopped a car because it was mandatory, and we had kids by this time. It was mandatory for kids. Well, it still is for kids to be in car seats and seatbelts on. He stops a lady, and he says, "Ma'am, do you know the safety?" And he went through his whole spiel. I don't know if he gave her a ticket or a warning or what he did, but I just remember him telling him, "Well, I can't get them in the car in their seat under their seatbelts." Why? Are they broke? No, they just don't want to. And they scream and throw a fit. Okay, so you would rather be grabbing them by the ankles as they're going through the windshield? I think not. We do provide safety for our kids. And again, when kids do move out, all of a sudden it is a shock to the system. Kids that don't even know how to do their own laundry, kids that don't know how to make a simple sandwich, a scrambled egg. These are things that are hard. And those of you who know how to do all these things, you're like, "Oh, that's silly." Believe it or not, folks, it happens. I have spoken to some parents and actual adults that said, "I knew how to do nothing when I left." No, my kids weren't chefs when they left, but they knew how to scramble an egg and make certain easy meals. But of course, I think when you're single, if you have the time and the money, you go out and pick up food because it's so easy now for us. But the fact of kids not growing up as quickly, I read, hold on, I've got a note here somewhere, that kids are taking a lot longer to mature because of the increasing social media, excuse me, there's out there. The fact is that we have all heard about stuff going on in the world. It's bad. We know it's bad, but there's a lot of good too, but we don't hear those things. You hear about these shootings of innocent people, and there have been so many this year, and we're only in May. And people having problems managing their anger. Why? The news covering everything. It does cover everything. And yes, some news medias do cover some good news. But if kids are watching this stuff, they're listening about politics. Did you even care about politics in your 20s unless you were really, that was your goal in life? And people hating each other, hating people just because of the way they look, the way they dress. But honestly, I know you're hearing this again, but honestly, COVID did not help, especially those younger children who, let's say 10, and now they're 13. At 10, that's an important age. You want to be with your friends. And we were just stuck at home. So here it is. I found my little note here. It's prolonged adolescence until age of 30 for some. Now, not everyone, just for some. So what this is saying to me is if there's a prolong of adolescence until the age of 30 and you thought they were leaving at the age of 20, you might have some kids living with you for a while. But again, it is up to you to help them help themselves. Because growing up is hard. If I would have realized how well I had it made, and no, we didn't have a lot. We didn't have everything kids have nowadays. If I would have known all that, wow, I would have wanted to stay home for all eternity. Get married, forget that. No, I don't mean that with this. This is my second husband. The first husband, no, that was zilch. That's over. But I would have just stayed at home. I mean, I did have it made. Being single is really tough, especially if you don't make massive money and you literally are living paycheck to paycheck. But I know a lot of people are still living paycheck to paycheck. So my thing is, you can help your kids help themselves, because growing up, think back, what was the best part of your life? Really, think back. I mean, was it in your teens? Was it in your 20s? And now you have kids, and now you're having to help them find their way. Well, I would say that my best part of would be in my 30s. I was done with the teenage years. I was over the whole 20 and I'd started a family. And honestly, that was my goal in life, was to become a mom. people go, what? Yes, I've always, since I can remember, I surprised I wasn't a teenage mom. But that was my goal. I always wanted to be a mom. I guess because my mom was such a good mom, and I wanted to be that. I wanted to be that good mom, and I wanted to help develop a good human and raise them to do well and succeed and just be happy and not happy with. Yes, money makes a lot of people happy. And yes, we do need money. But some people, that's all they thrive for is I've got to have money, more money, more money. You can buy anything and everything in your life, but guess what? It's going to stay here because we will all die. I don't mean to be depressing here, but we're all going to die. I feel sorry for my kids. I've said this before also. We've got so much stuff. If you go to my Instagram, Ticket to Life, oh my gosh, I've got a picture of where I do my podcast, and it's in our media room. And actually, we hardly ever even watch movies in here anymore. But that's my goal, to try to start at least once a month and watch a movie in here. But you will see all the movies my husband and I have bought. And that's not even all of them, because the Disney section is in back of the room, and then there's also another section of war movies because my husband loves war movies. Then there's another section of Christmas movies, and then there's another section of kid movies that are not Disney movies. So yes, okay, I'm a little anal, I know. And yes, they are all alphabetized. Somebody probably will come in here and misalphabetize them to see if I notice, but I probably wouldn't unless I'm checking them all the time. But anyway, back to helping our kids out. Remember, let's help guide our kids, because we needed guidance. And how many of you did have bad parents or weird parents? But look where you're at now, and you're not that bad parent. You're not that weird parent. You have become a great person. And I'm sure you are a better person for your kids too. And again, I apologize for those who have had bad parents. Weird parents sometimes are kind of fun, because I think I'm probably a little weird. But anyway, quirky. Maybe I should use the word quirky. But these are my little things that I know that I have learned, because once they are adults, we cannot keep treating them as children as much as we want to. I think I've mentioned that my son and daughter-in-law, my beautiful daughter-in-law, is pregnant, and I am so excited. I just, again, love babies. I love being a mom, but being a grandparent is even better than being a mom. And no, it's not because you get to watch the kids and they get the babies and then they get to leave. No, that's not it. It's a different type of love. I think you get to enjoy your grandchildren more because you're so busy helping your kids, sculpting your kids, guiding your kids to do the right thing. And try. I know we're all busy and I know we're all working, but help your kids grow. Help them. Be there. Listen to them. Take that time, because being an adult is not easy. How many of you really, really enjoy, well, I hope many of you, but have enjoyed your getting to where you are now? With all the trials and tribulations you had to endure to be at the very point you are now. And some of us are still trying to get to a certain point. I know that I'm happy where I am. And I think that what has gotten me to where I am is God. God, I am so about God now. He is my everything. And I think I've also had other podcasts about worrying. You can't worry. I mean, yes, I do sometimes, but worrying's just a waste of time, because it is all in God's hand. Your destiny is already made. It is His will. If you get that house you wanted, if you get that car you wanted, if you get that job you wanted, I always feel there is something better for you down the way. I went a couple of weeks ago. We went to that. It's a store here in Texas. I don't know if they're nationwide, but anyway, it's called Bye Bye Baby, and they're going out of business. So we went and looked at some stuff for our future grandson, and anyway, they are closing. And it's a Bath Body and Beyond, or oh God, you think well, obviously I don't shop there, but Bed Bath and Beyond. That's it. Anyway, so they're all closing their affiliates. So it's just sad because the employees, they had just made the notice like the day or 2 days before. And we just went to go look at stuff because they haven't really bought anything yet. But anyway, and you could tell these employees were sad. And I don't blame them. They're going to be without a job. And these are the things, again, that you don't have control of. Now, I did talk to a couple of them, and I said I was sorry. I know I had nothing to do with it, but I said, I'm so sorry to hear that your store is closing. And they said, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I just said, because this is who I am, something better is waiting for you. And one of the ladies said, I believe something better is waiting for me. And I said, good for you, because I believe that. I believe when something just, even if you're on a high and it goes down and it's over and done with, God always has something ready for you. And now, it may take a while, you may not see it at first, but it's there. But anyway, let me get off my pulpit. And this is what I would just want to tell you. Help your kids grow. And remember, when you want to tell them something, you know what you should do? Don't say, I had to learn this. You have to change the wording to say should. It should not is no. You say could. So get rid of should, and you start saying, oh, you know what you could do? It's more of a suggestion and not what you should do. And it does help. It does help. And they may say, yeah, I thought about it, or yeah, thank you. And they probably don't want to hear it, because at this point in their 20s or 30s, they know themselves that they should be making their own decisions, but they do still need help sometimes and guidance. I mean, like I said, it's like talking to your best friend. So when your kids are trying to make a decision, again, just use could, not should. And also, this is the hard thing, is about trying to give them your opinion about something. And I have had to learn this, and I'm still working on it. And when I say the opinion, it's like, oh, you're doing that wrong. This is how I do it. Well, they are not you. And sometimes they may be talking about politics or religion, and you really don't want to discuss it because you're going to get upset about it. I know I should not even be bringing up politics with religion. Those two, I don't think, go together, other than to pray for our country. But to say something like, oh, okay, just agree with them. As hard as it is, just agree with them, even though you don't believe it. And just to keep calm for everyone. Or maybe they're trying to push your buttons and see if they can irritate you. Take them out of the wheel. No, I'm just kidding. But the other thing is, my new thing is, and my friends have noticed this because I told them, when I have to bite my lip or bite my tongue, I literally rest my elbow. Hopefully there's a chair with an armrest or a table in front of me, and I will cover my mouth with my fingers or my hands, and that's It's really hard, because when you're very vocal like I am, being an adult and not saying, well, this is what I did and look what happened, because we've all had to learn from our mistakes. I still am, for gosh sakes. Because being an adult requires you to be on your own, being responsible, place to live, take care of your finances, take care of yourself, have a half-decent job or 2 jobs, because I know some people who have more than 1 job just to make ends meet, because it is tough being an adult. And again, oh my gosh, like houses have skyrocketed. If, your kid was saving for a house and now like, I don't have enough for a down payment. It's crazy. Here in Texas, I don't know if someone opened the gates from all the states. We have people from everywhere coming into Texas. And yes, you are welcome. Howdy. And, but it is like, you ask someone. We just spoke to someone that moved from California. She goes, it was way too expensive in California. I just love it here. It's more affordable. It's like, no. But she was great, and she was nice. So welcome that you're here. But it's for the past few years, people are coming all over because they have heard about this great state of Texas. But this is just a little saying that I think everyone needs to live by. And because I always say it, it's easy to grow old, but it's harder to grow up because, being a kid is so much better than being an adult. It really is hard to grow up. Growing up is supposed to, well, it is a blessing because without growing up, I wouldn't have a fabulous family. So count your blessings, find your blessings, and please don't forget your mom this Sunday. Because as much as you hate to hear it, she did take good care of you and fed you, and you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Yes, there are people that still have their parents in their 80s. Nah, no, I'm not sure. But anyway, have a great Mother's Day with someone who has been like a mother to you. So take care of yourself. And until next week, this is Henrie. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms.